Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for RB. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, movie review, re-review, tier list, ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for To Kill a Mockingbird, 1962 film based on the novel by Harper Lee. When this film came out, it did very well at the box office. It got nominated for quite a few Oscars. It won for Best Actor, Gregory Peck, for Best Adapted Screenplay. I know the little girl, Mary Badham, who plays Scout, the daughter of Gregory Peck, his character Atticus. She was nominated for an Oscar, Best Supporting Actress. I think at least at the time, I don't know to this day, but at least at the time she was the youngest to be nominated. And it's looked at as one of the seminal films. And I didn't like it. And there are plenty of classic films I have reviewed that I like, whether it be The Treasure of the Sierra Madre that I just watched. I reviewed a week or two ago. Casablanca. You pull up the list, I can name a bunch of them. Pick a year. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Dr. Strangelove. This one, though, I respect what it did, because it was talking about racial tensions and racism, and I appreciate it, I respect it. I don't think it's a bad, awful film. I just didn't care for it because, honestly, for a good part of this movie, I was simply bored. If I want a courtroom drama about racial tension, I much prefer A Time to Kill. Granted, very different tones and, decades worth of difference, but A Time to Kill I just prefer, and I like, and I know this is sometimes considered the best courtroom drama. I think A Time to Kill is miles better than this film. I would even say it's not the same type. I'm just speaking of courtroom dramas. The one with James Woods and Robert Downey Jr., True Believer, I liked a lot more than this. Granted, that person was Asian and not black, and there's other differences, but a lawyer trying to help someone who's of a different ethnicity. I did True Believer I got a lot more out of, and A Time to Kill I got a lot more out of. But, I respect this because this was way before those films did it. So let me repeat one last time. I respect it. Just because it's respected doesn't mean I have to like it. I've named a bunch of other films I do like. So it's not just to hate it. Again, I don't hate the film. It just, for most of the film, which I know it's the purpose, it's just from this little kid's point of view, which again, I know it's the purpose, a child's eyes, but a lot of it I just found really fucking boring, and I don't think the kids were really that interesting as characters. And with all due respect, I don't think Mary Badham deserved a nomination for an Oscar. I know she's just a kid. Gregory Peck, I can understand. Mary Badham, no. I mean, she's not bad, but Oscar nominee type of performance, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I see a kid that would have fit as well in an episode of Dennis the fucking Menace. You get mad at me all you want. You disagree, that's fine. It's just my opinion. Again, you throw a rock on a number of other kid performances, a variety of films. You know what? Different genre. But Child's Play, the kid, Andy Barclay. That performance I got more out of from that kid, and I can't believe I forgot his name, Alex Vincent. Nowadays he's not that great of an actor, but as a kid actor performance to the emotions, and I just got more out of his performance. Fool from The People Under the Stairs. Brandon, who was in The Sandlot, that actor. I love the character Fool. That performance I got more out of. Again, very different tone, very different type of movie, different genre. But I'm just thinking like these other kid performances that I got a lot more out of compared to this. I mean, the film not so much, but Dakota Fanning and what was it, I Am Sam? I don't know if she got anything nominated for that. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But I'm just saying, the film ain't so much, but her performance is really good. Even in Man on Fire. I mean, I'm just thinking of other kids, and I don't mean to harp on the kids that much. It's just, they're the main focus. It's mainly about Scout and the brother Jim, them going to school, getting into fights, or them wondering about this kooky neighbor, Boo Radley, which they've heard all of these stories about. And they're trying to sneak in and see the neighbor and see what's going on. Or talking to their dad, mainly Scout talking to her dad. Or there's a lynch mob and Gregory Peck is there and the kids get there and the girls say, hey, I know you. Yeah, I know you. You came over and my dad came out and said thank you and I know your kid at school. Which dissipated the lynch mob, which in real life I don't think it would happen, but it's a movie, so it is what it is. It takes place in Alabama during the Great Depression. Gregory Peck is Atticus, a lawyer who works for the common man, the poor man. Because if he doesn't, who else will? It shows a bit of the kid's perspective. There's this other kid that comes by and he keeps saying he doesn't have a dad. And she's like, you must have a dad. Is he dead? No? Well, then you must have a dad. And again, they have all these stories about Boo Radley, who he is, what he did. All these stories they hear. Oh, he stabbed his father with scissors and all these other stories. And they try to look and it doesn't pan out. Well, one day the dad, Gregory Peck, gets a job where he's supposed to defend this guy, Tom Robinson, played by Brock Peters. Now, this character you don't really see till like an hour and change to the film, and the movie's like over 2 hours. And Tom Robinson isn't really a character, he's just kind of a plot point, plot device. So the fact that we don't really get to know him as a character, we really don't get to know him at all, is a bit strange. We're told a little bit of what he is and what he was accused of. He was accused of assaulting a white lady in a sexual manner. And more so. And she and other people say he did it. He says, I didn't. And it's labeled a courtroom drama, but you don't even get to the courtroom stuff till like, I don't know, 70 minutes into the film or something? Something like that. So, I mean, there is a courtroom scene. It's hard to call it a courtroom drama. Does you think of that? You think of, like, My Cousin Vinny has more courtroom scenes than this. And to be honest, I like that movie more. But it's just the stuff with the kids, I get what they're trying to do, a kid's perspective on racial tensions and them being confused, and then the girl getting fights in school, and but the fact that like you don't have much of Tom Robinson, his point of view. Brock Peters, I liked as an actor. He was in Star Trek. He was Cartwright. He was in Star Trek 4. And then I think you find out he's a bad guy in Star Trek 6. I think he also played Sisko's dad in Deep Space Nine. So it's weird because, I mean, it's the same actor, but he plays two different characters. But, I mean, that happened from various times on Star Trek, to be fair. So I like Brock Peters, and he does what he can when he's finally on screen, but it takes forever. So again, he doesn't really seem like a character. He just seems like I said a plot point, a plot device. More of a subject than a person. I don't know how else to put it. And then Gregory Peck, his character, I mean, all fairness, is very one dimensional, but he does a good job. He's a guy that, the everyman, protect. I mean, I get it. He does a good job. I didn't really see a whole lot of layers to his character. Some may disagree with that. That's fine. I liked what he represented more than I thought of him as an interesting character. He was a good, righteous character, and what he did was right, and with a good actor, you're able to want to aspire to be that type of person. I'm just saying I didn't find him a wholly interesting person. I didn't, most of the shit was about the kids. I didn't give a fuck about the kids. I didn't give a fuck about them talking about Boo Rally and I went over the fence and my clothes were stopped. But then I went back and the clothes were thrown over. Little hints leading up to who we find out Boo or Arthur Riley, what kind of person he really is. And I said, the stuff just drags on and on. I just found it rather boring. I found it rather boring. Just because I respect it doesn't mean I found it entertaining or interesting. I do feel there are films that have done this It's like Night of the Living Dead. I don't like the original Night of the Living Dead. I respect what it did. I think there are zombie films that did stuff better. Either they were more interesting, like Dawn of the Dead, or more entertaining, like Return of the Living Dead. And I could get what it's trying to do. I could get its focus. It's just, I even like the remake tonight of The Living Dead more. For me, I feel there are films that did this subject better going forward. I think it's too long of a movie. I think it's too slow of a pace. It's too sluggish of a pace. I don't think the kids are that interesting. I don't think they're okay, but I don't think they're Oscar worthy or nominated worthy. And then 70 minutes in, you get the trial. He explains how, well, this is based on about left-handed, right-handed. Well, this person, their hand has been screwed up for a long time, so there's no way he could have done this crime. And then this lady says that her father didn't do this when it's clearly based on her reaction to details she did. And Gregory Peck gives a really good speech, but it doesn't matter because of the prejudice and the racism of this time period. They just, it's a black guy, so yep, he must be guilty. You have the scene that I do remember the scene of the speech. I do remember the scene because this is, of all the scenes in the movie, this is the scene that would be replayed when people talk about it throughout the years. When people who happen to be black, they get up and they say to the daughter, "Get up. Your father is passing." As a sign of respect. Because they respect what Gregory Peck tried to do. Spoiler for a film from the 60s, you find out Brock Peters' character, off screen, tried to escape, got shot, got killed. So that's what I mean. He's not much of a character. He's just a symbol. He's more of a symbol than a character. And what happens is he has to explain it to the family. The one guy who's the antagonist, the real piece of shit, comes by, spits in Gregory Peck's face. It's sometime later around Halloween. Jim and Scout are going about with costumes. They get attacked. Someone saves them. Come to find out it is Boo Rally who saved them and killed the asshole, the antagonist. So as I said, at least that guy got his ass killed. He deserved it. And I forgot because I had not seen the film before, but I seen bits and pieces. I knew of it. Robert Duvall is in the film. It's might have been his first. It's his first or one of his first acting jobs as Robert Duvall as Boo Riley. He doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue. He's there. You do look at him, and the girl's like, "Oh, hey, Boo." Well, his name's Arthur. She trusts him, takes his hand, takes it to her brother, who's on the bed healing from his wounds. The sheriff, whatever, talks to Gregory Peck and says, "You know what, we should just say this guy kind of fell on his own knife or something, and this guy doesn't deserve any punishment." And eventually Gregory Peck agrees, and then everything's fine, and then Scout narrates about how, she still remembers those times, while the little Scout, hand in hand, takes Boo back to his home. And the idea is that you never really know a man until you stepped in his shoes. Don't judge a man until you know him. So like they were judging Boo Riley, he must be this, he must be that. Well, you don't know him, so don't judge him. And lo and behold, he's actually did the right thing and saved these kids. So there you go. And that's really what they were going for, and I get it. I do get it. I do understand it. I do appreciate it. Like I said, it's just one of those things where I still, for the most part, found it boring. I don't know how else to tell you. I mean, I think of like the plenty of movies dealing with lawyers, whether it be The Lincoln Lawyer or A Time to Kill, both with Matthew McConaughey, whether it be My Cousin Vinny, whether it be A True Believer with, I mentioned, with James Woods and Robert Downey Jr. There's just other films I do prefer and I do like more. Even A Few Good Men. Now again, or about racial tension, I would go more towards Mississippi Burning, or some other films that really deal, as well as A Time to Kill, that really deal with racial tension. It's just, I think they got better with that. I think they got better as time went on about the subject matter, focusing on certain characters that maybe should be focused on as well. I'm sure a lot of people say, "Oh, it's the white savior." I'm not saying it's that. Some may say it is that. I'm just saying it would have been nice if some of the other characters, like Brock Peters, would have been a character in the movie, and less about the kids. I know people say, "Well, that's the whole point." Well, then I don't give a shit about the point. The point wasn't interesting to me. Didn't give a shit about the book when we had to read it at school. I appreciate the themes, but I didn't care about the actual book, let alone the movie. I don't think we saw the movie. We read the book at school. Because I appreciate the ideas more than the actual material. So, To Kill a Mockingbird, if people love it, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I never gave a fuck about this movie. Just never been my cup of tea. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm sure RB, if he's watching, he didn't expect this, but I gotta be honest. I mean, if I top 100 films, I'm sure it's on there. I'm just seeing what's on the list. Granted, I've been having internet problems, so it may take a while for it to come up. But okay, the list they have here now. Toy Story's 99, huh? But I like Toy Story. I don't mind Blade Runner, Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas. Sixth Sense I could watch. I like the original 12 Angry Men, Platoon. Let's see. A whole bunch I don't hate. All the President's Men, I really enjoy that film. Forrest Gump, Silence of the Lambs. Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, I liked. I reviewed that not too long ago. Shawshank Redemption, I love. Unforgiven, don't mind Tootsie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, I love. Let's see. Rocky, Jaws, North by Northwest, I like. Taxi Driver, I like. Casablanca, I liked. Wizard of Oz, I like. Star Wars, Psycho, at least the first half. 2001 Space Odyssey. And the list goes on. High Noon, I liked. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I don't mind. Snow White, I like. Treasure Sierra Madre, Doctor Strangelove, Teen Kong, Rear Window. So, I haven't seen every single one of these, but there you go. So it's not that I'm just hating for hating's sake. This is what it is. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.